The latest impact and the ramifications, if we have to speak over, of these developments coming in from Middle East, in fact also pertains to the crude oil prices that have extended their slump after United States President Donald Trump announced the tentative ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Early trading in Asia has seen West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures for August fall as much as to 5.1%, up to recording $65.02 with per barrel. With this, the prices have fallen below the levels of the June 12, which was the day Israel attacked Iran. Then Brent crude prices have also declined by 8% overnight after it was disclosed that Iran's strike on US military bases in Qatar were coordinated and no human casualty was reported. So early trading has seen that West Texas International has given out us a number for the crude futures for the August, which has fallen by the 5.1%, which is also at the lowest in the pertaining to from the June 12th. Dr. Sharat Tripathi, if we have to speak about the impact on the crude prices, which have fallen below the level it was when first attack took place, this is a major development of the kind of impact which it gets on the economy at large. It is not just on the tariffs, if we speak about it, is not just on the tensions prevailing and being affected in the Middle East, but the crude oil prices, which pertains to the larger oil economy that continues to be in trade with India as well. How do you react to the crude oil prices at this point of time level, which has fallen below the June 12 levels?
If we talk about the price hike of the crude oil, so I think from the very initial point, this question was on the top among the scholars that what will happen if there is a tension increase in the Middle East. I think after the strike, especially Iranian strike on military base, Qatar military base, this point triggered what will be the future, especially Strait of Hormuz, because Iran had declared that this is the last weapon. Strait of Hormuz is going to be weaponized as the last resort, and because of that, we know even India now imports 40% crude oil from the Middle East from this shipping route, and even the China is also. So India, China, and other regions also will be benefited. So see, US was under the tense, US was under the pressure that what will happen. Even there was a counter response that if Iran decided to block this strategic choke point, it will harm Iranian economy. So Iran accepted this kind of challenge. Let the face any economical loss, but we will stop. We will weaponize this Strait of Hormuz. I think the entire global supply chain disruption, entire global chain supply of crude oil will be affected, and that's why Iran considered it was the last resort that needs to be started. And after that, after the first is military airbase, strike on military airbase on Qatar, and the alert on Saudi Arabia and UAE, which is a very close ally of USA. Now the tension triggered, what will happen? Lots of discussion, lots of conversation started around the Strait of Hormuz. If Iran blocks this Strait of Hormuz, let me tell you frankly, it will harm the entire global supply chain of oil. And this is the real point. This is the real point. Sometimes your resources, your geographical positions has been defined as strategic asset as well as weaponization. So I think it was the last resort, and that is why Iranian parliament passed the resolution. Now this is it up to Ayatollah Khomeini that please you need to finally take decision. What will happen after the Strait of Hormuz? So I think this was the tension, and it was linked not only Iran and Israel. And I have been saying from the very initial point that the Middle East that is known for the energy security. Middle East is a very highly volatile region and has been defined by the geopolitical chessboard for both great power super competition. Iran is a close allies of the China and Russia, and constantly challenging the US hegemony in the region. And other side is, we all know, American satellites, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Iraq. So I think one is that regional tension, regional rivalry between Saudi and Iran, and second is great power competition between China, USA, especially when China started talking about to seize and to meddle the tension between Saudi Arabia and Iran. See, the 25 years agreement partnership with the China and Iran. China had promised Iran for the long-standing strategic partnership. Lots of stakes of the China and Russia and Iran, and that is why this war, this tension was not confined between Israel and China. From the very initial point, we were talking about the full-fledged support, the US full-fledged support. Only one strike triggered the entire, you can say, the substance of the American leadership. And that's why the Republican Senator, Tulsi Gabbard, Republican Senator, they started talking, please don't involve, because Donald Trump had predicted that perpetual peace, when he will resume the office, perpetual peace will come, and he was looking for the Nobel Peace Prize.
All right, that's a final and last word that you have concluded with in the much detailed statement, which has many sides to it if we have to go in detail. And right now, because one of my guests has also spoken about the IAEA, and it also pertains to be of larger importance as to what happens to it as the decision making happens, as the director of the IAEA has also made an address to the UNSC. These attacks by the United States and on Israel, on Iran nuclear sites, they mark the first time any country's operational nuclear facilities, they were targeted to destroy them. And as a result, numerous concerns emerged in the aftermath of the attack, including the risk of radiation leaks. While Iran and the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, the global nuclear watchdog, have reported that there is no increase in radiation levels so far. Now, other worries do persist. These include the concerns about the safety, the whereabouts of the nuclear material stored at the targeted facilities, which were 3 that were hit badly by the United States: Natanz, Isfahan and Fordo. Now, Colonel Mayank Chaubey, how do you look at the challenges that are posed before the IAEA, as there was a confirmation which came that there is no radiation leak, but at large, where is the concern over an answer, in fact, over how the radiation leak and attacks followed in that nuclear sites which were hit badly and destroyed later on?
Look, Simran, what I doubt is, were there any enriched uranium existing in Fordo or Natanz? Because the Israelis, they claimed that they had destroyed the Natanz facility, and further it was being cemented by the action which was taken by the Americans. Now what happens is that when Operation Rising Lion is launched, the first wave, the Israelis, they take down the high value targets, they carry out the killings of the leaders of the IRGC, and they take down their scientists. In the second wave, what they do is they attack the nuclear facilities, and the most prominent of the nuclear facilities that they take down, they claim, is Natanz. Now Natanz is an area which was having tiered centrifugal placements. They had various halls made, and like you had Hall A, these were all existing below the surface of the earth. Hall A had 14,000 centrifuges working. Similarly, there were other halls. So you had thousands of centrifuges working with one aim, and that was to refine uranium. These uranium was supposed to be refined to a grade where it could be used for warheads, that is weapon grade uranium. The second facility that was involved in such refinement was the facility existing in Fordo. Now Fordo facility was very, very typical. It was hiding within the folds of the mountains. It was a hardened facility. So a lot of concrete was there which was covering this facility. So Israel didn't have the capability to bring down this facility. Either they had to put their boots on ground, special forces would have been inducted, they would have used explosives in excess, and then only this facility could have been taken down. And this was not practicable. So it was decided that the package will be carried by B-2 bombers. The B-2 bombers were stationed in Diego Garcia. 6 of them were stationed in Diego Garcia. They were supplemented by 4 B-52. Now what happens is, from the Missouri air base, 7 bombers they take off. But in a deceptive move, the bombers which were placed in Diego Garcia, they take a flight towards Guam. So that is to put the Iranians in a doubt that where are the bombers going. So these bombers, they leave for Guam, but there is a package which is being delivered from the airbase in Missouri, and 7 such bombers they take off. Now each bomber is carrying 2 bombs, and these bombs are weighing 13,600 kgs. Massive destructive ammunition. They are supposed to fall under the effect of gravity, attain great speeds, and they are supposed to penetrate at least 200 feet of concrete when they strike it. That is the massive firepower which was employed by the United States. To augment this attack, they used their submarines. They launched their Tomahawk missiles on the nuclear facilities which were existing closer to the coast. And the 2 facilities that were closer to the coast were the Isfahan facility and the Natanz facility. The Fordo facility was much above in Qom province, which was in the northern side. So there are 12 such big bombs, or they are the GBU-57 bombs. They are dropped on the Fordo facility, and 2 GBU-57 bombs are dropped on Natanz, further augmented by a number of Tomahawk missiles. They take down this facility. Tomahawk missiles are also fired on the Isfahan facility. Tomahawk missiles are precision guided munition. They pinpoint, they select the targets, and they destroy it totally. They carry massive warheads. So the target selection was perfectly fine. The ammunition being used was perfectly fine. But did they achieve the desired result? The desired result was to destroy the nuclear facility and to finish the fighting capability of Iran with the help of nuclear weapons. But what I feel personally is that they would have destroyed the fortifications, especially in Fordo. They would have destroyed a few centrifuges which were involved in refinement of uranium. But the uranium is still intact, if in case it was there. Now, where has the uranium gone? Under the nose of Mossad, which has infiltrated every corner of Iran. If in case the Iranians have been able to take it out, hats off to them. Why I say they have been able to take it out? Because it happened in 1998, where the CIA satellites were keeping India under close observation. They had feared that India will carry out an underground nuclear blast. And when the dark period came, we carried out the nuclear blast, but the Americans could not trace it. Did the same technique hold good in case of Iran? Or, in fact, your mind goes to the weapons of mass destruction which were supposed to be held by Iraq. They were supposed to be held by Iraq. It was later accepted that there were no such WMDs existing in Iraq. So, is the same template being carried out in Iran also? You say that uranium, 408 kgs, enriched uranium is existing, weapon grade uranium is existing, and Iran is very close to making a nuclear bomb, whereas no such uranium exists there. Because the IAEA himself has said that no such radioactive activity has been noticed.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.